One nice thing is that I can pull this up right here and I'll type in our calendar as we discuss. So
Oh, perfect.
Figured I should pin the video of the actual video and not the video of Lindsay's name.
yes. 6:29. How you doing, Keith?
I'm doing all right, I think.
You think? Go good. Of anybody else on the video? Not tonight.
Doesn't look like it.
I
December's a
thought
busy.
I thought it would be light because it is a busy time of year.
It really is.
Do you guys have your Christmas shopping done?
I do.
My husband actually does most of the shopping for gifts in my family. I'm not like a gift person. It's not one of
Right.
my strengths. So I wrap. That's our agreement.
I could
He
use
he
that.
shops and figures out what we're giving to everybody, and I wrap.
That's great. It's a great strategy.
My only responsibility is to have a gift for him. So
There you go.
Louis and I throw money in a pot now for travel.
oh nice.
That's
yeah.
like our
I know.
So
I'm more of an experiential kind of
yeah.
person too.
We just don't need it. I mean, we just
That simplifies it. That's great.
but it took us a long time to get there though.
You want to go ahead and kick things off, Lindsay?
Alrighty, time to get started, it looks like. Okay, so we're recording the meeting. I'm calling it to order. Would you guys like to start I guess that makes sense if I start. Volunteers present, Lindsay Kuhn.
Molly Snodgrass.
Darlene McGold.
Keith Campbell,
And it doesn't look like we have anybody on Zoom at the moment. So just a recap of the items that we talked about at our November meeting. We decided on January 8th for the due date of our next newsletter content, rather. It wouldn't probably get mailed by till the end of January. But we determined that while it probably will be a little bit shorter with the holidays, it'll be worth it to get it out in January to stay on a good schedule for next year. So that will be one of our discussion items tonight. Then the township social media pages and website updates. So I met with Ashley in the Harlem Township office to get access to the Harlem Township profile that we know is there and the Harlem Township government page. And in our working together, we discovered something surprising is that we don't have access to this other kind of rogue Harlem Township government page. We're not sure who created it. It could have been an employee that is no longer part of the township and didn't leave any credentials, but we unfortunately could not access it. So our best bet is using Facebook's kind of like flag and reporting feature to try to get it reported as a duplicate, as spam, because we don't want that hanging out there when we can't update it. So that is a surprising update to this saga. But the good news is that we do have access to at least the two main ones. And I don't know if anybody follows it, but I posted on the profile, hey, everybody, please, if you haven't yet, go over to this page. This profile is being locked down. And what we're doing is, besides the fact the profile will never get posted to again, we're locking it down in terms of like, we're trying to hope that it just doesn't even show up when people search Harlem Township. So good steps taken, even though we can't at this time fully resolve the duplicates, which was kind of disappointing, but it was surprising. Ashley actually didn't know what I was talking about. She had never seen the duplicate page. So it goes to show that she'd never had access to anything and it was not left for her during that transition. So it had to have been several employees ago, possibly, unfortunately.
But when I talked to Lindsay on this, because we just happened to see each other and she mentioned this to me. If you look at this kind of rogue page, it does have some like recent enough posts that someone somehow is posting to it, but it almost seems like it's probably like some kind of bot or spam or something because it's never original content. It's always something that's like copied from one of our other pages. And it's also very sporadic. It doesn't duplicate everything, but it'll pick a post here and there to either share or to copy from one of the other pages. So it really is bizarre, and it does seem like just something rogue that we need to try to get Facebook to remove for us.
Do we all need to do that? Like go on there and report it as spam
As
or
spam? That's a great question,
Do you
Darlene.
think that would help if more people do it?
Yeah, I don't think that would hurt. I think that if you visit, so we're specifically talking, I refer to them by their followers because it's easier because their names are exactly the same. So Harlem Township Government, but it has like 255 followers versus the one that we actually use, which has over 500. So if you were to visit that page, there should be some sort of like three little dots and you click it and it's like report spam or something like that.
okay.
And the unfortunate reality is that this is actually pretty common. Like there's a lot of spam Facebook pages, a lot of phishing, a lot of people copying other pages. So maybe this is just what we're dealing with and we never realized it.
Okay.
I'll make a point to report it too,
Yeah, I will.
if you will as
Sure.
well. So we'll get a couple of reports and I think Facebook usually says that they give you an update on it when you report stuff.
Yep.
So.
Yep. If everybody would do that, that would be awesome. So then now for this meeting, one of the things that we'll talk about is how we can contribute to the social media page. But first item is just quickly talking about our next township email, which will go out Tuesday, December 24th. And it will have a reminder about the events and meetings, which will be through the 4th Tuesday of January. And then something that I didn't include on the agenda, but we'll probably include is like reminder about office closings because of the holidays. The Harlem Township office will be closed a couple of days. And then we had a great group discussion about the resources last time. So I thought we could do that again here. What's the word I'm looking for? The zoning overlay that we thought might be ready, I think was not going to be ready until this month. So as long as that continues to trend towards the trustee meeting in the middle of the month, that seems like that'll be our most obvious resource. Does anybody know of anything more pertinent than that?
No.
Okay. Zoning overlay update. Yeah, they were not ready to discuss that yet. I think it when we had hoped to put it in the November one, I think it goes through zoning at the beginning of this month. So it probably has already met with them. And then now it goes to the trustee meeting to vote. So that timing should work out pretty good. All right. Does anybody have anything you want to mention about the email blast before we move on to new stuff? Not so much.
My only question is, I know we send them on the Tuesdays because this falls on Christmas Eve. Sorry, mind blanked there for a second. Would we want to send it out like Monday? Because, since obvious, I think most people probably would assume that the offices are closed Christmas Eve, which I assume they are. But I don't know. I'm just wondering if that would cause more confusion to send it on a Monday instead of a Tuesday, or if that would be better because it's like sending it not on a holiday.
Sure.
What most people consider a holiday.
Well, next,
I completely get that.
wait, what do you use, like, which Monday or Tuesday you using, the first or the third or?
The 4th.
Oh, I'm just talking about sending it on the 23rd of December instead of the 24th of December.
There's 2 Monday holidays, one in January, one in February too. It's on the 3rd week.
Let's see.
No, I'm not talking about moving all of them to Mondays. Just this.
No.
If we could keep it on the Tuesdays, just so we are consistent, it doesn't probably really matter. People will check their email when they check their email. So
I certainly don't see any issue with it going out like Monday evening as as an altered schedule. That way people have the information a little bit more ahead of time than Christmas Eve. And if for some reason it can't go out Monday evening, I definitely think the goal would be like Tuesday first thing in the morning. Like Tuesday at 3:00 is a little bit too late, I think. So I think
right.
really all it would depend on is I think the trustee meeting would be the 18th. So as long as I can communicate with maybe Jim and the folks with zoning and development and get like a good write-up about this overlay, then I don't see why it couldn't go out Monday evening. Just like a special timing for the holiday.
Yeah, that's only my thought, because it's just kind of like if an email comes to you on Christmas Eve, like people aren't probably going to be checking their email on Christmas Eve. That's my only thought. So
It's
I think
my
that's
birthday,
is it?
Is it really?
Happy birthday. Yeah.
Happy
It's
early birthday.
It's like,
on the
yeah, I
18th
don't
or
think
on
I'll-
the
I
23rd
don't think
or
I'll check my
24th.
email that day.
So let's try to send this out Monday evening instead of Tuesday, since it's a holiday coming up. Well, if you can't tell, I'm typing myself a note here. Alrighty, so then moving on to new stuff. This is the fun stuff, right? Social media calendar. So just to recap, we determined that we will try to post one of each 4 categories that we determined last month throughout the month that will supplement on our Harlem Township Government Facebook page the already public notices that are going on there. And I did ask Ashley, like, do you have a schedule for those? And she said no, it's like rolling. She has to hit certain timelines for each public meeting that goes out. So there's never any she posts on Wednesdays or anything like that. So, but I think that's totally fine. I think that we can pick our dates of the week that we have fun stuff, and sometimes there might be 2 posts. It doesn't really matter. I don't think it's going to hurt anything. So what I'd like us to do is have a kind of group discussion like we do with the newsletter about these 4 kind of pillars. So pillar 1, posts from other Harlem Township groups. 2, posts of events or around the community. And then 3, did you know fun facts? Then 4, shout outs and kudos, and kind of see what will those 4 be for January, because we're looking ahead. We're always going to plan ahead. And then that way we have time to divvy up and go get them. And then I think everybody will send them to me, and then I will actually hit the post button. So just to like kick off the discussion in terms of events around town, I do think it'd be weird to post in January about the Christmas in the Park event. That's just to be a little bit too late. But does anybody know anything else similar to that we could post sometime in January?
You mean, what do you mean it would be too late to post photos from the Christmas thing in January? Do you ever think it would be too late?
I think the Christmas and the holidays in the park is like this weekend. So that would be like on like 2 to 3 weeks later.
Okay, I mean it just, since we don't right now have a cadence of really any post other than the public notice type stuff,
Mhm.
Maybe it wouldn't appear like super late to the community. If, even if it is a few weeks post after the fact, we
Yeah.
could still post something and be like, what a great time that all these folks had, at the holiday in the park in December.
And then make sure you're reading our newsletter and our email blast so you know when the next community events are, something along those lines.
Yeah, something like that. Like, I mean, I think we need to start somewhere, right? And even if it's posting a few photos from an event that happened a couple weeks prior, we can get more timely as we start, getting more posts more frequently.
I think just remind people that you missed a great event, so that
Mhm.
so you look for that for next year.
Yeah, I mean, not that you're trying to like shame people, like, oh, you're missing,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's to call out like, we had this great event, look, it was, we want it to be even more even more attended in future years, right? So,
Mhm.
Follow our page and sign up for our emails to stay informed on, more community events. I don't know. I mean, that's just my opinion. I don't.
No, I totally get that. And it looks like on Harlan Township Heritage website, there
Yeah.
isn't anything plugged in for January. Do you think that's right, Darlene?
That's what I was looking at. Yes, I believe that's correct.
So then in that case, it's called Winter in the Park, by the way. So in that case, we wouldn't actually have anything to plan ahead for in January. So this might be our best bet, a recap with some pictures. Is anybody able to attend that? I will be out of town on Saturday, so I will not be able to attend that. So the next step after we're planning out, and we can just do this as we go, is who can attend these things and who wants to be responsible for these things.
Someone just signed in.
Oh, hi, Karen.
Oh, Karen.
Hi, yeah, hi, it's me. I was having problems joining in.
Oh, I'm glad you're here. We were just discussing for social media planning going into January, because we're going to start planning ahead, that we were going to kind of pick 4 pillars every month and then make sure we have a post in every pillar. So One of them is community events or like just photos from around the community. And we think that the most obvious thing would be to post a recap of the winter in the park that's going to be happening later this week. And then just kind of plug that you can learn more about events in our newsletter and our email blasts. So is anybody planning on going to winter in the park?
I would love to, but we already had a bunch of other kids' birthday parties, and we're booked solid.
I believe so.
Weather permitting, I'm gonna try, yes.
Well, whoever does attend, try to snap some photos.
My wife's making cookies to take there, so we
Oh, wow.
popping up to take cookies there, so I guess we'll be attending.
Yeah, if you want to, I mean, even if you, I mean, Karen, you're going to go, right? Are you attending?
Yeah, so like weather permitting.
I'm hoping to go.
Okay.
Okay. So Karen, can we put you on take pictures?
The only thing is I'm not gonna be there the whole entire time.
I think that's okay.
Okay, sure.
And kind of what I imagine would be best is like, I think, because there's all those really nice Christmas lights on the tree. So maybe some pictures of that. And then just like 2 or 3 pictures of things that are happening. And then what I'd hope is that as we divvy up who does what each month, that you can email me any pictures you took and then like a little blurb, that'll go on the Facebook page.
And who's that speaking? I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry, it's Lindsay talking. Hi.
Okay, hi Lindsay, thanks.
Sorry, I'm quarantining, so I can't be in person.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, perfect. We got one out of 4 down here. Okay. Alrighty, next. Go ahead,
Sorry,
Mel.
go ahead. I was gonna say, for did you know or fun facts, I mean, I know we have a lot of people that have lived in the township a long time that we might want to tap to try to find some of those kind of historical tidbits.
I talked to Dave. He said that he would help me with that, at
Okay.
least for the first one, because they're doing a lot of things with the celebration in the
Oh, yeah.
200th year. So I think I have a good one for that from him. If you want me to start with that, or
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and you can take that
Okay,
first
great.
one. The only other thing I was going to say was I've been meaning to do this, and now is a probably good reason too. But I think there's like some local person who was like a historian and like wrote a book about Harlem Town.
I have that book.
You have that?
She passed away,
Yeah,
yes,
she
but
did.
I was reading the book actually because I want to try and make a map of all of the like an interactive map of all the historic places.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But I will give it to you after I'm done with it.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind letting me borrow it, because I think, I've been meaning to find a copy of that book and read it because I've been getting involved in the township, but I realize I don't know a lot of the
So
history.
Louis and I have been kind of taking notes and taking turns, talking about it.
But that'd be a really great resource to pull
Yes,
some of these fun facts from.
definitely.
Like, I bet there's a lot of people in the township, especially the newer families, that would find some of those historical pieces of information really interesting. And I mean, even just over here on the wall in the township office, there's a number of cool stories from like the Revolutionary War and the, what the township was back in the 1800s. And I don't know. So we can find probably a lot of
I think that'd
cool little
be
things.
so cool to get people involved with the celebration coming up, for the
Great.
state. And so getting people excited about it, I think is kind of what I mentioned the last meeting. So I'm happy to take that first one.
Sure.
Just let me know what week.
Yeah, so let's talk about that real fast. Getting my little calendar blank thing here. So then, in order to make the winter in the park the most timely, I would think we'd want to post that the first week of January. Does everybody agree with that?
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
So Karen,
Yeah.
you can obviously, like, if it's just easier when you go, if you want to shoot me your pictures and kind of like a blurb about the event, then I'll just get it scheduled.
Okay.
You don't have to wait till the first week or anything. So then, I don't know, we could just go down the line here, Darlene. You went the second week, the week of
Sure.
January 8th. All right. I'm going to plug in on like Tuesday the 2nd, winter in the park, January 2nd.
I was actually going to suggest that all our posts be on Tuesdays, and we can call it something catchy like Township Tuesdays.
Township Tuesdays.
I like it.
All right, so we'll try to keep it on Tuesdays then. And Tuesday's also a good day historically for social media as well. Mondays are hard days and Fridays are hard days.
And it aligns with the days that we meet here on this committee, and it aligns with when we send the emails out, so.
It does. Yeah. Great point. All right, so then did you know would be on the 9th. All righty. Flipping back here to our pillars. The post we said like sharing or posting about other township groups. I think that's something that I could probably do pretty easily just because if I'm using the page, I could just like share onto the page. So that one might be a little bit harder to plan out because we have to kind of wait until we see something from other township groups. Unless, does anybody know of something that will be coming up that I should be sharing? It's hard to, because we're planning ahead to January.
By other township groups, do you mean like something the fire department has posted, or something that's posted on the community page or the heritage page?
I think we just said any and all those. Anybody we
Any
can
and all.
support. Yeah.
Okay.
So Heritage obviously has Winter in the Park coming up.
Garden Club, we have the scouts that meet here in this room also. And other groups
Okay.
like that too, that,
Oh, really? The Garden
Yep.
Club does?
I have no contact with them groups, but I'm
Right.
saying, if you look on the township calendar, you'll look at the days
Yeah.
this room or the Grange Hall is reserved. And you will see that the scouts meet every month, and the garden club meets every month and things like that. So,
Yeah.
Lindsay, I don't think he meant that the garden club has like its own Facebook page. I think he just
No.
meant that they're another group that meets
they're in the
here.
township, that they meet in one of our facilities, and so they're
Mhm.
kind of connected to the township by that.
That's a good one, Keith.
My
Maybe
mother
I
was in the garden club 30 years ago.
yeah. Well, maybe I can reach out and just kind of send a, hey, we'd like to share. And does anybody have any news you want to share? Unless I actually see it on one of their Facebook pages, then that's something easy for me to share onto ours.
I have no idea of a contact person at the garden club.
Kathleen Johnson is on it.
Okay.
She's my neighbor.
I don't know how relevant garden club posts would be in January though.
Yeah.
Maybe
that's fair.
They need something
But
to
it-
fill in
yeah.
down the road. You always look.
Yeah, maybe in like a March or April post that might be a little more relevant.
I bet you the fire department's going to be easy.
Mhm.
Heritage is going to be easy. But let me send out an email just to kind of do an information collecting. And then we'll hope to share that on either the 16th or the 23rd. Oh, guys, we actually have 5 Tuesdays in January. If we miss one, it's totally fine, obviously, but that allows us room to have.
I feel like we could
Extra.
probably do 2 fun
I was
facts.
gonna say 2 fun facts would be
Yeah.
totally fine. Yeah, because that's just fun.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to plug share from another group on the 16th for now, which is the following Tuesday after our Did You Know, which leaves the 23rd open for some sort of kudos shout out, which is our 4th pillar. And then since there's 5 Tuesdays, why
Lindsay,
don't
you're picking Thursday. You're not looking at Tuesday.
I am?
Yeah. In January 2025?
Oh, am I? Did I accidentally download a 2024 calendar? I might have
I
done that.
Check closely
I
enough.
think
you
you
might have.
might have because Tuesday's the 7th, 14th, 21, 28 in 2025. There's just
Oh
4.
my gosh. Thank you so much. I would have been.
You
I
are-
didn't. I didn't
You're
even pay
welcome.
close enough attention to catch that. So it's not just you,
Thank
Lindsay.
you. I was so confused. I was like, what are you talking about? Hold on, I'm going to fix this on my end here. Okay. You said, would you mind repeating those dates for me one more
Yeah.
time?
It's 7th, 14, 21, 28.
Okay, starting with the 7th. Okay.
Well, then we don't need a second fun fact, at least not for January.
Nope, that works out.
Mhm.
Well, I'll send everybody when I send this back to everybody, it'll be a correct date. So everybody knows what the heck I'm talking about.
Oh, good.
All right, so then that means on the 28th, we only have 4. So then we wanted to do some sort of like kudos shout out. I will assume that January is going to be busy for our maintenance department with salt and plowing. That could be a good first shout out.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, good idea.
And just, I'm sure that's a department that doesn't get enough recognition.
Yeah. So that could involve, and I think this, what's great about this is that it leaves some room for creativity. So that could involve a picture of somebody in the office, like Jason or the head of the maintenance department, or it could involve a picture of them out standing next to a plow truck. Like this is it's a way to be creative. So is anybody interested in gathering that?
I
We
could
could-
take that one since I haven't taken one yet. And I got a few weeks to
Oh yeah, it's like several weeks away. So
Yeah.
and the good news about this is that it's flexible. So like it's currently not snowing. So
Yeah.
you have several weeks till it's like cold and snowy to maybe arrange that.
And if you're in a pinch, let me know. I mean, I'm right down the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll make a point to try to
Okay.
get something together for this one. A shout out for maintenance. I can handle that.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, that is our fourth. Okay, so perfect. So then the thought is that when we meet next month, we do this again for February, and we're going to have a minimum of one extra post a week than we normally do. And I think we can talk about if we feel like scaling from there. Does everybody feel like this is a good place to start at least?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
so.
Awesome. All right. Any more questions about social media? Karen, just real quick, I wanted, if since you weren't able to hear it, we realized that we did not have access, we as the township, to that kind of rogue duplicate Harlem Township government page that we were really hoping to like
Get rid of.
get rid of.
Yeah.
It seems like it could be spam, honestly,
Oh,
or
geez.
it could just be several employees ago and then it wasn't transferred. So that was a new development, but we're all going to, if you wouldn't mind, the page that we're trying to get rid of,
Uh-huh.
it's Harlem Township Government, but it specifically has 255 followers. So you'll know that's not the one that we have, because the one that we have is over 500 followers. And we're all going to go to that page and click like mark as spam or report as a duplicate. If a lot of people do it, maybe we can get it to be taken down.
Okay, will do.
Thank you.
Gonna try to do that right now.
Sure. Alrighty, so then next item would be our next newsletter, because if we're going to try to get this out by January, we got to start talking about sections now. So last quarter, pulling up our newsletter, we had a letter from the trustees to start off, and I feel like that's probably something good to have for this quarter as well. Do you guys agree? Because it's like a new year, kind of like a letter from them to start the
Yes.
new
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a great idea.
We're definitely going to have something from the maintenance department because they're going to be very busy. All right. So I'm going to start making these notes here. Letter from the trustees, maintenance department.
For maintenance department or somewhere, if it doesn't fit in maintenance, can we put something about mailboxes and letting people know who to contact when their mailboxes get hit when they're plowing the roads? Because that
Oh.
seems to happen a lot. And people always forget that it's not the township that does it. So
That's a great idea. I didn't even think of that. All right, I made that note. We can, when I send out an email, maybe I'll ask, like, do you guys have any instructions for this? All right, then next we had zoning commission. And this is what we talked about, unless Darlene, because you guys gathered this one last time. So
Mhm.
unless there's like an immediate news, we talked about some sort of zoning part 2.
Yes, we can do that.
Okay. You want to be in charge of that again?
Yes. I just
Okay.
tell Louis what to do. It's so
Yeah.
easy. Okay. Part 2.
And then, of course, unless there is something that's kind of like really pertinent, we can leave that up to them.
Understand.
Okay. Then we had, communications committee. That's us. We can certainly, I think, do you guys think that we have anything besides plugging again our email newsletter and make sure you subscribe? And then also we could probably plug that we're trying to clean up the Facebook pages.
Yeah, I think
Sure.
I think just keeping a nice, short, simple, keeping the QR code to subscribe, and then yeah, like you said, kind of just mention that we're looking to be more active on our Facebook page in 2025. By the way, follow this one.
Mhm.
However you want to word it, but yeah, I think it doesn't need to be over long, but I think we should put something in it.
Awesome. Okay, making that note.
I also
Then-
think that's just something that
We should do
Pe-
every.
yeah, and people always appreciate efforts to improve and keep consistent communications. So
I agree. And it worked. We did get like a dozen people that used that QR code and went and signed up from the last one. So
nice.
alrighty, then zoning department. They will certainly have something, I would think. Do you remember who did that last quarter? Molly, was that you or you economic development?
I think I was at the economic development. I reached out to
Okay.
Mike and Jim on that, and I could do that again.
Okay, you'd like to do economic development again?
Yeah.
Okay, great. We'll see if zoning even has something, but I can be responsible for emailing them just to see if they have something. Or Karen, did you do it? Somebody did it last time. Zoning.
Wasn't me.
Was it new? Okay. No big deal. Zoning department. Lindsay. Economic development. Molly.
Yeah, and I'll make sure to include the caveat, like if there's no substantial updates, we, no need to write something just to write something.
Yeah. Okay, so then the next section is community park. So Darlene, so that's Dave, right?
Mhm. Yes, I can
I
I can reach out to him. if he'd
Yeah,
like.
because you're going to be reaching out to him about the
Yes.
250th celebration. Would you like to do community park then?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, the next one is fire. Would anybody like to reach out to the fire department? Community park. I'm also happy to just email him with the zoning. I could do that too. That's just, I have their emails.
Okay, that might be just fine.
Yeah. Community park, Darlene with Dave. And then fire. Okay. Then BZA. Keith, you think you guys will have something to share?
We have a hearing this month, but it's just a hearing scheduled, but nothing's happened yet, so.
Would you like to be responsible for talking to everybody and seeing if you have a blurb to share for the new year?
Yeah, if there's anything come to the meeting, that's gonna be on Monday, this next Monday. I'll email you any results.
Okay.
But
That would these results make sense in the newsletter?
I don't
like-
think, probably not.
Yeah, a lot of times like zoning appeals is
It's
like
it's
stuff
just,
people don't care about unless they're directly involved.
it's not,
Yeah.
unless you live next door, it doesn't really bother you.
Mhm.
Right.
It's like, yeah, I don't know.
I remember in May, there was like a BZA section and it was kind of just like a roundup of everything they were working on. Do you foresee that would be possible for January or probably not?
We've only had 2 things all year, I think.
Oh, okay. So it might have just been the circumstance in May. There was a lot going on.
The thing, the unique thing about the BZA is it's not, we just listen to appeals. So unless someone
Mhm.
comes with something they want to ask specifically,
Yeah.
we have nothing to do. And my training I had with all the zoning stuff said, if your BZA has nothing to do, that means your township zoning resolution must be working fine.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Because we work on exceptions to the zoning.
Uh-huh.
And if people don't need exceptions, then it means that the zoning must be working.
Right.
It's kind of a unique situation. A BZA that does nothing is a good BZA because that means the zoning's working well.
It's a fair
Well,
point.
so then maybe we'll hope that you don't have anything, huh?
Right.
All right. Well, let me know about that, please. And then fiscal is just an email. So I'll send that to Lisa because she just emails me back her spreadsheet. So then lastly, we have like two fun sections. We had Harlem Township Heritage, and then for this past newsletter, we had like meet all the new township employees. So anybody have any thoughts on what would be a fun feature to start off the year? Or we also did talk about that this is probably just going to be shorter. So if there isn't anything obvious, I think we would just remove the fun feature and then we would have Harlem Township Heritage left.
So for Heritage, are we just going to put like photos and a little blurb about the winter in the park that we just did?
I think that that's a good idea. And then maybe if by January 8th, there's actually a little bit more information about what to expect coming up, we can include all that. Do you want to, since you're already getting those photos, Karen, would you like to gather that information?
Yeah, I can do that because I'm on the Harlem Township Heritage. I get their meeting minutes and stuff, so I can reach out to them.
Do you feel like we should give an update for the Heritage group of who the new officers are and things like that? Maybe just add that in there, just an update of who's new, and that Amber is now the chair and things like that, and all the positions.
I think that might be interesting to people, so they would know who to reach out to and who the
maybe,
contacts are.
maybe some sort of tribute to Roger too, who just kind of retired from that position for 2025.
Okay. Yeah.
Wait, yeah, do you think that's good, Karen? I'm
Yeah,
looking
I
at
do.
I feel like I'm looking like right at your face.
Can you guys even see me?
No,
we just
your
see
video's not on. No,
Oh, okay.
but neither is mine. Nobody wants to see my sick face, so don't worry
Okay.
about it.
If you need help with that, let me know. I'm happy to help.
And
Put
who's that
together.
talking?
Darlene.
Darlene. Okay. Yeah,
Mhm.
I will reach out and find out.
Okay.
But yeah, I think
Great.
that's a good idea. If they have new positions and things, that would be great to find that out.
So that'll be nice. So there'll be the pictures that you're already taking and the little recap, and then just like the the updates on the new positions, and then
Yep.
lastly, I guess if there is anything that they want people to look forward to, that could be a opportunity
Yeah.
to plug.
Any kind of events they have already scheduled maybe for 2025.
Yes. All right. Well, then that's everything except for a fun feature. I'm personally okay with leaving it there unless everybody has like a brilliant plan for a January fun feature. Might just be a slightly shorter, 1 to 2 pages shorter newsletter.
I was gonna say I'm hesitant to completely cut the fun feature just because I feel like that's something that might get people reading the newsletters.
Fair enough.
But that being said, it doesn't need to be a long one.
I was
Yeah.
thinking asking some of the township employees maybe what their New Year's resolutions are, something silly like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Like maybe asking a few of them and see if you can get, I mean, hopefully they don't take it seriously, too seriously, but maybe gather the ones that are entertaining. Some people
Okay.
get funny with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that could be fun.
Yeah, that or
An
favorite
idea for New Year's. Yeah.
So
that
even
or
if it's
maybe favorite holiday traditions that they have or something
That's a
like
good one.
that.
Mhm.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Just some
Just
sort of thing where you can put little quotes, and then I think that's fun.
yeah, like even if it's just like a small section, but just yeah.
Exactly. Just a couple quotes or something that people
That's nice.
something, some sort
And
of
it would be, I like that idea of getting it from, the Harlem Township fire or, the different
Right.
groups. So we're learning the names of all the different people.
Yeah, that's great. Let me handle that since I will be emailing several people anyways.
I was just gonna say I don't really want to do it, but
Let me
I'm
get-
gonna give you an idea.
It's a cute idea though. I like that.
It is. I really like it. That's a great idea. And like you said, Karen, it like helps get people like these are your faces that are running your township in these
Right.
offices. So,
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, and I mean like because otherwise it's like I don't even think on our township website there's even like a employee directory that lists all the names of the
Right.
yeah.
higher employees.
Right. It'd just be fun. I think people give really funny responses sometimes.
They do. Okay, I love it. Well, that fills us out then. That's a full newsletter again. Fantastic.
Awesome.
Well, I mean, assuming people come back with content.
Of course, yes. That is a full plan. But if there are just a few things that are missing, then we know that we're really good with content at least. It's
Yeah.
not going to be like extra short.
Yeah, I think even if we do have all the sections again still, I think it might still end up being shorter just because the updates themselves might be shorter.
Yeah, that makes sense. So just reminding everybody, we're going to gather all this by January 8th. So we have time to put together and then get it sent to print in the month of January.
Okay. And how many newsletters do we plan to do for 2025?
Still trying to stick to quarterly,
Okay.
which is part of the reason why January is a target, because then that sets us up for a nice quarterly cadence.
Got it.
And that would put the third quarter one in October, or sorry, fourth quarter one in October, which is right before the 2025 election, where we will have all 3 trustee positions up for election.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good deadline to hit. All right, so we're cooking pretty fast. Our last section here was at our last meeting, we said if anybody could take a moment and kind of review the township website, we are going to start making notes about anything people saw that could be streamlined, improved. This button doesn't go where we think it's going to go, just to get this discussion kicked off, because Ashley in the administrative office said that our website provider's contract allows for 1 revision to the website. And I can't imagine that that's like a major overhaul and completely changing the website. But if we do see things that as we're using it could be improved, I like to start building a list. And then that might be a good 2025 initiative for the township to get it cleaned up. So did anybody have any notes that you brought that we could get started with?
I did not bring any notes, but the link that I clicked on to try to get into this meeting did not work. It was for the fire, so I can send you just a blurb of where I clicked and it's wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. We definitely need to know that.
I think the biggest thing that I saw, and I actually have a Word document started and then I stopped. I think what I noticed is that there's a lot of chains that don't make sense. Like it says you're going to one spot, but then you look at like the different sections and it says you're in a different spot of where you came from. It's a little bit of a challenge. I think the biggest thing I saw too were like the forms and their placement. I thought was a little awkward. So I have some reorg thoughts that I actually did screen caps. I didn't know how.
Screen caps is good.
Okay.
Great.
So I can give that to you, but I think it's mostly just how you're navigating through things. I noticed a lot of discrepancies on how that navigation works compared to the little it's not an address bar, but it's like a little menu telling you where you should be.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, that's just kind of one of my general observations, and I don't know that I've captured it specifically. I probably could and should take better notes and screenshots, but I agree with you. I think like the menu and submenu structure is just a little off in some places.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think like especially the first thing I noticed was the forms. That's probably where a lot of people are going.
Yeah.
That was completely off. And then it also didn't make sense to have like one payment link, with a drop down menu. Like, I don't know how detailed we're going to be able to change some of these things. But like if I'm clicking on a zoning thing or something where I want to pay for it, I want it to pop up like this is what I'm paying for. So I took some notes. I think it's mostly reorganization at this point because I'm sure that firm isn't going to do, like we said, a whole, overhaul.
Yeah.
But I think getting to, even when you click on the trustees, you don't see the trustees. You just see what trustees are and you know what I mean? So like little things like that. If I click on the trustee button, I don't want to go to the board to see the trustees. So I was on a conference call and I went through a lot of those. And so I took screen caps, but I don't know how. Do you want to see it and maybe filter it out on what you give to Ashley? Because I feel like I'm being a little extreme.
I mean, I think we can ask for the sky and
Okay.
you know what I
Okay,
mean?
okay.
I feel like we should point out all of the things that we see as issues. And if revise comes back and says, oh, this is outside the scope of what revision, then so be it.
So we
Yeah.
may even consider, I mean, I can send you this stuff, but we may consider having a workshop.
I was actually just thinking
Yeah,
like having
so
like a
we-
working session.
Yes, having a working session where we actually make this our focus.
And we can have it up on like
Yes.
screen share.
And then
That-
we can even sit with Ashley if, and go through this. Or if we want to go ahead and make those recommendations to her, but I think having a workshop would be really beneficial. Um,
I would agree because we're all going to find
Okay.
probably a lot of the same things, and then
Yeah,
somebody going
true.
through all of the duplicates. Yeah, I would agree.
Maybe
That's a
that
good
could
idea.
be something that we put in the January newsletter under our communications committee thing. Like, by the way, we have this workshop scheduled to, help find improvements for our website. Please come on this date to have an interactive, session.
that
Good
sounds
idea.
great. I would feel a lot better.
And then we're seeking
Other
more,
people
yeah, then we're,
mentioned too.
seeking more
Yeah.
community input.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
if 2025, if we have this as a goal for 2025 to get this revised website update done,
Yeah.
then we can start it off by putting in the newsletter, hey, the communications committee is planning this for 2025
Right.
on February, whatever. We'll
Yeah.
have a working session to identify what we want to improve.
And we could probably use this time. I
Or
mean,
yeah, it could be the same meeting.
or something. Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe do it before or after, or make it a short. I don't know. I love these meetings. These are so great. So it really is up to you all to see if you want to have like an extra one, or we can make it during this time slot as well.
Why don't you go ahead, Molly?
I was gonna say I'm open either way. So what do you think, Lindsay?
I was thinking that, you know how when there's like trustees meetings and then they have like executive sessions, they'll put those either at the very beginning or the very end.
Right.
What if February's meeting is mostly the workshop and we put that immediately at the beginning? That way, once that's done, we dedicate a specific amount of time to it. Then if people want to leave, they can, and we can finish off our discussion.
That sounds perfect.
Yeah,
Good
let's
idea.
do that.
Even if we have to go a little longer, like a
Yeah.
half hour or so, we usually are done on time.
Yeah. With the workshop. Okay. This is a great idea because then it's interactive. And I was going to suggest that this could be like an ongoing discussion. So this is a great way to kind of like put a pin in it and gather everything together. So I like this idea a lot. Okay. So to recap, we will set our February meeting up to start with a workshop where we pull up the website and we make notes and actually like see the changes that we're talking about, and we can invite people and make sure they're aware we're doing that in case they want to come and provide any input as well.
Perfect.
And we'll give all that to Ashley.
So we should probably come up with a specific agenda for that.
Yeah, agreed. That way it goes. I was thinking like we don't like maybe we should make it last like no longer than 45 minutes. So it's got a start and an end time, and then an agenda for how to structure it.
And if we need to have a second workshop session, depending on how that one goes, if we get to our end of 45 minutes and realize, oh, there's still a lot of things we haven't checked,
Yeah,
maybe there needs to be another one or whatever. So
could just be the next month in March. Yeah, exactly. Because we are hoping that this is done in 2025. So it's not a hurry to get our workshop done by like, the very, very beginning of the year.
We're looking at
Yeah,
the
in terms of it, go ahead, Keith.
second Tuesday of January, second Tuesday of
Second
February, for next 2
of
meetings.
February. So that would be one button. Okay, February 2025. I'm in the correct year. That would be
Yeah.
the
Love it.
yeah, the
Mhm.
11th.
all right. So then, unless anybody has any specific thoughts you want to mention right now about that workshop agenda, we can talk about it at our January meeting when we're a little bit closer, which our
Mhm.
January meeting would be Tuesday, January 14th at 6:30.
Yep.
Awesome. Well done, everybody. That's the end of the agenda.
Yay, wrapped up in 45 minutes. This is a pretty good committee.
Best.
Anybody have any additional comments that we didn't get to?
Well, I think we're all doing a great job.
Yeah, good job.
Awesome. Well, thank you all. As usual, I'll follow up with these notes, and everybody have a wonderful holiday if I don't see you.
Thanks, you do the same. Feel better.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a good one.
You too.
Too.
Bye.